Eventually, I realized that I have a lot of inadequacy, a feeling of personal inadequacy. And I've used drugs, unfortunately, now. The damage to my head, LSD, marijuana, Xanax, and others. I didn't use them a lot, but when I did, it was very bad for me and did damage to my psyche. And I'm repairing some of my GABA receptor destruction with L-theanine. But what I realized is even before that, I'm not psychonormative enough. And what they do with someone who's not psychostandard is they put them in poverty in the United States. If the person isn't psychostandard, where they can actually read the person's brain, control their action, control what they do, control their motives, and basically maneuver them to do as they please, they put them in poverty. There's nothing you can really do about it. They suppress it a billion different ways to make it look like it's the person's fault. But ultimately, you're in poverty because SAP does not approve of you to be in the working world. And they cover it with fraternities, in-group preference, and just generally interviewers who want the person to be a standard, neurostandard individual. So they only allow them to hire neurostandard individuals. But these fraternal setups in these white-collar jobs seem to be falling to pieces now due to AI. So it'll be interesting to see if there's an actual in-person desk hiring creatives somewhere that puts flyers up and stuff like that, who's actually interested in people who could contribute. The SAP clearly just wants me as a torture victim at the moment, but maybe there will be a desk somewhere at some point that actually hires people that are actually intelligent for work. In some cases, maybe at some point. But until that happens, there's no capacity for me to work because all of my stuff is blocked or controlled. I sent 5 to 10 emails or 4 to 10 emails to Columbia offices and with very good professor thing with ChatGPT, and only got one, didn't get any views on my LinkedIn page. So none of them checked at all. So essentially the emails got blocked. But I realize I have a lot of inadequacy due to my father's lack of status because he's not psychonormative either and wasn't able to fit into any of the in-groups in society and get a meaningful job. So that's just something that you have to deal with. It's not something you can really change. If you're not neurostandard, if you're not somebody comfortable in a fraternity or around fraternity types, in the United States, this is the military base. This is the military country. It's very important. They really can't be giving people money who are not neurostandard. You will not find a way to earn an income. So if you're not an SSI in the United States like I am, or even if you are, maybe leave and try to earn an income somewhere else. Because that overseas, you got to leave the Atlantic. Canada is not enough. You've got to go to Europe or probably to Asia or something like that and see if someone will hire you and pay you a decent salary. And then you can hopefully bring, your sweetheart over there and just live there. Because there is really no way. I mean, once you get to a city like Seattle, it's a little bit better. They're not as neurostandard. They don't simply hire based on fraternity group preference and stuff like that. And that proliferates into non-fraternities as well. Because they're so fearful of Europeans going to Vancouver in Canada. British right by Vancouver. It's the largest U.S. It's closest to the border in many ways, as in terms of its size. So they're a little bit nicer, but in general, you got to just go to some other cities, but you got to just go to Asia or to potentially Europe, but probably just Asia. So it's a good idea, maybe if you want to raise your income, you're not doing it to just kind of get away from the military base, get away from the military-industrial complex because of the importance of the United States. Canada is enormously IQ and incredibly poor, so they don't follow neurostandard stuff. So if you do want to take a break in the United States, you can't afford it going overseas yet. You could go to Canada, try around and just see what people are like there. They really don't. 1% of the population is fraternity based. They're much more intelligent, free thinking there. They're very interesting.